Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Let's Talk. I am your host, author Dre Lett. Thank you for joining me for another week. I know you could have been anywhere, but you chose to tune in and spend time with me, and for that, I am so grateful. So once again, welcome to another week of Let's Talk. So, as always, I want you guys to know that you can purchase my books. You can get a description of what my books are about on my new and improved website, which is www.dtlproduct.net. As you can see on the screen behind me, that is where you can find the description of my books, as well as logging into Amazon and typing in my penmanship name, Dre, D-R-E, Lett, L-E-T-T. So once again, thank you so much for your support. Every week you can view my video cast on several social mediums. You can view it on Facebook, on my author page, Dre Lett. You can also view it on Instagram under author_Dre Lett. And every week you can see all my shows, all my video cast shows on YouTube on my channel, which is called Let's Talk with Author Dre Lett. There you'll find every week all the months and all the weeks of shows that we've been taping there. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and share. So thank you so much. Also, I want to tell you guys that later on in the show, we have a special guest coming on. She is Tiffany Graham. She is an emerging visual artist. She's a painter, a young adult that paints wonderful portraits of paintings, and she's going to come on and show us some of her work and tell us what she's got going on. So stay tuned for that. So let's get right on into hot topics. So on a serious note, as you all know, today is Friday, September 11th, and 19 years ago this year, or excuse me, on this particular day, we honor those that were fallen. So today is a day of remembrance for those that lost their lives and for all of those who gave their lives. So for that, we thank you for that, and we send a special prayer to those who've lost loved ones, family members, and friends. It's a rough day for a lot of people in the United States. So our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to those of the victims of 9/11. So also want to make mention that on another serious note, we've got massive wildfires out west in California in particular, Oregon, and some of the other states in the West. And there's been huge spread of destruction across the West, killing lots of people. So our thoughts and prayers go out to those individuals as well. We know that you've probably lost most of your property and personal belongings, and so we're going to lift you all up in prayer and pray for those that are just trying to make it through another day. So our thoughts and prayers go out to those. So let's just dive right into the hot topic. So I went back and forth on whether or not I should mention it or should I not, but it wouldn't be fair if I didn't talk about the true hot topic. And as you know, this week, leadership, I'm not going to say any particular names, but leadership, they came out and said that they denied that they misled the public about COVID-19, the COVID-19 virus, despite the tapes that you can clearly hear this individual saying that the virus is much more serious than what they're telling the public. Now, some will say, hey, I was just trying to keep, he was just trying to keep everyone calm. And then others would say, well, you misled us. So I know, me personally speaking, I've lost two family members to COVID-19. It's very serious. And I'm just, I'm just, I can't believe such a thing happened. So also, I want you guys to chime in. I failed to make mention that my Facebook audience is live. They're watching. So you guys chime in and tell me what you're thinking about that particular topic. I know some people may say, oh, it's no big deal. It's fake news. It's this, is that. But for me, it's not fake, especially when people have lost their lives or spent a great deal of time in the hospital suffering. So I don't know. I'm kind of feeling some kind of way. I shouldn't be opinionated, but I am. I am going to be opinionated. I think it was wrong. I think they should have told us up front the seriousness of it so that we could have taken the necessary precautions, and people would have, taken care of themselves, stayed indoors if need be, not passed away or gotten sick. So I'm just curious to see, and I've got my live Facebook audience here. I'm just curious to see what you guys are thinking, what your thoughts and concerns are about that. Yeah, I'm seeing some angry faces that they feel that that was wrong. It was. There's just no other way to put it. So I'm going to check back in with you guys to see what your thoughts are. The next hot topic, oh my goodness, this is controversial, but it's real, right? So, Tamar Braxton, the reality star, she is the sister of Tony Braxton. And basically, without getting into too many technicalities, if you will, her boyfriend called the police and went to court and filed a restraining order on her behavior. Supposedly, she hit him in the jugular, and which caused him to wreck and cause damage to his vehicle, $30,000, in fact, to his car, which was a Rolls. And so he went to court and filed a restraining order. Now, I don't condone domestic violence in any shape or form, but part of me wonders, did he file this restraining order because he was mad that she damaged his personal property, his car? I don't know. Guys, what do you think? If a woman or a girlfriend or whomever damaged your personal property, your car, because we know guys love their cars, would you go to court? Would you get a lawyer? Would you go? Would you file and do all of that? Or would you just say, okay, I'm just not going to deal with that individual anymore? I'm just curious what the guys are thinking. I know, me personally, if it were me, I don't know. Females, what would you do? If somebody took your Gucci bag or your red bottoms or whatever you hold near and dear to your heart that's of material form, would you, would you have filed a restraining order? Would you have taken it to the next level and went and saw a judge about it? So I'm just curious to see what you guys are thinking about that. And again, I'm going to keep checking back in with my live audience, because they're always giving me their comments and their thoughts, which I love and appreciate so very much. So moving on to the next hot topic, and we'll check back in on that one as well. The next one, oh, this is a good one. So Daniel House, he's an NBA player, right? So as you guys know, the NBA players are all in this big bubble in Orlando, and they have these strict rules that they've got to abide by in order to play basketball and compete against other teams and things of that nature. So apparently Daniel House, what he did was he broke or violated the COVID-19 regulations that the NBA set forth. So what he did was he had an unauthorized individual come into his hotel room. The unauthorized individual was someone who actually gives out the COVID-19 test. And because of that, they kicked him out of the bubble. So when they kick you out of the bubble, from my understanding, you can't play anymore during the rest of the season. So as you guys know, these NBA players, they make millions of dollars. So I started thinking about that. I said, man, if I make millions of dollars, would I allow somebody to cause my money to get jeopardized? No. I'm going to stay in my hotel room. I'm going to watch movies. I'm going to do FaceTime. I'm going to look at Zoom or, talk to people on Zoom, whatever it takes. But I'm not letting anybody jeopardize my money. Not at all. What do you guys think? I'm just curious to see what your thoughts are. Okay, so let's see here. Going back to the restraining order. Somebody said, I'm glad he filed a restraining order instead of abusing her. I think she needs professional help. Yes, I agree. That, again, that's controversial. Some may say, yeah, file it. Some may say don't. And I totally understand what you're saying. That is a very controversial topic. Someone is damaging your property that you work hard for. And then again, it could have caused him to snap and do something to her as well. Yeah, somebody said nothing is that good. Absolutely. Material things, they're not worth it. Absolutely not. So I'm hoping and praying that their situation works itself out, and that whomever is at fault gets some help. And I'm sure we'll find out later on the true facts of the case as we go forward. What do you guys think about the NBA player? I mean, if you were an NBA player or any sport for that matter, and they told you stay in the bubble, don't let anybody else in, or it could cost you millions or cost you money, or you could be fined, would you let somebody jeopardize that? I'm just curious to see what you guys said. Yeah, I see here somebody says no, absolutely not. No, not at all. And then going back to our leadership, when we talked about them denying the tape, somebody said, evil leaders, some people do not have the fear of God in them. It's making me wonder too. It's really, really making me wonder, do they actually fear God? I know me personally, I do. And I would be scared that if I misled somebody wrong, that could have cost them their life. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, this is crazy, I tell you. So, with that, we're going to move on to our guest. As I mentioned earlier, her name is Tiffany Graham. She is an emerging visual artist. She's a painter. She has some wonderful, wonderful pieces. We're going to bring her on to Let's Talk so she can tell us all about her work and share the things that we've got going here. So, with that, let me just bring her in the room. Okay, she should be coming in here in a second. Okay, there we go.
Hello,
Hey,
how are you doing?
you guys hear me? Could you hear me
Yes,
earlier? Okay, I
yes,
noticed that I had my mic muted. I hope the audience could hear me. Oh my goodness. Well,
yes.
welcome, Tiffany. Hi. I see you have somebody sitting next to you. Is that your manager, Mr. Graham? Well, welcome, Mr. Manager. That's awesome of you to accompany your daughter on to Let's Talk. We appreciate you coming on. I'm so excited to talk with her about her pieces and what she's got going on and all that good stuff. So tell me, Tiffany, what brought you? What made you want to become an artist? What got you put fire under your feet to want to start painting all of a sudden?
I started painting when I was really, really young. Like I even did some book covers for my dad when he would write poetry and stuff. But I never really took it seriously, so I kind of like left it alone. And then when I started high school, I got recommended for AP art class, and so most of my pieces that are on the site now are from that class.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. And it looks like you have some stuff hanging on the wall behind you. Some of your work is that your work hanging up back there?
Yes,
Awesome.
that's brother blessing, and
Beautiful.
that one is beautiful.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So I am so excited to see what you have to share with us as our viewers. And with that, I'm gonna let you take it away and show us what your pieces are all about and fill us in.
All right, and I'm gonna step out and let you all
Okay.
talk, and I'll come back later.
Okay,
All
great.
right,
Thank you, Ms. Grant.
and thank you for having us on here.
Absolutely. Okay, Tiffany, so I'm just gonna let you take over the screen here.
Okay, is it sharing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect.
It's there.
Okay, so here's the first piece, Lady Butterfly. This was one of the
Uh-oh,
first ones I did.
I'm not seeing anything, Tiffany. I see a black screen. There we go. Oh, look at that.
So here's one of the very first ones I did. It was a part of a concentration I had called Freedom From. And basically, butterflies, they usually symbolize freedom. So in each piece, it symbolizes freedom from something. This one is actually freedom from, it symbolizes domestic violence. Purple is the awareness color for domestic violence. And they're kind of like entangled in her hair like that because I feel like victims, they usually feel like trapped and they feel like they kind of have to hide what's happening from like people they know and kind of from themselves. So yeah, that's what this piece is all about.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I like how you have the color contrast. Like you said, you've got the butterflies and the blue and the different colors and the seriousness in her eyes. That is beautiful. I love that piece.
Okay. So next is Beauty of Blackness. This
Ooh.
one was actually inspired by the movie, what's that movie called?
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty.
I'm blanking. Queen and Slim, yes.
Oh, Queen
I
is,
was blanking.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
That's
I love that movie and I love the message. So that's what more of the design is all about.
oh wow.
And these flowers, white usually represents like purity and innocence. And
Mhm.
I feel like especially now in a world like it's like that's like the last thing people will like associate with Black people. So I wanted to incorporate that in this painting.
I love that. And I love how the abstract with the colors and the figures. And let me ask you this. So the blue and the reds, does that kind of symbolize going back to, you said the movie that inspired you? Does that symbolize the police colors of blue and red? Is that what motivated you a little bit here?
No, but I love that you went there. So
Oh,
yes, it
okay.
is now.
That is beautiful. I love that.
Okay, so next, Brother Bless. I think this is
Oh,
probably the favorite. I think this is the most one I've gotten orders from. So I actually did this one a while ago, but um, like since the Black Lives Matter movement is so strong right now, I think it got a really good response from it. So this one was all about like the generalization in the world of Black men. I feel like they're so generalized and marginalized into like one certain like category. And so I wanted all the colors, like there's a ton of colors because I wanted to show that like Black men can be whatever they want and they don't need the world to try to tell them what they can be. And I kind of have the blue butterflies on this side kind of just drawing all the colors so it's not as harsh.
oh, I love that. It's so many, when you look at this piece, you see so many different things that you can interpret. And like you said, that's wonderful that the Black Lives Matter movement inspired you. This is an awesome, awesome piece. I love it. And it's called Brother Blessed.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. Now, now, what kind of, before you go on, what kind of painting is this? Is this, what kind of technique do you use, especially when you paint it and then when you reproduce it? What type of painting is this?
Okay, so when I paint it, usually everything is done with acrylic paint. I just like that medium the best. And when we print them on G clays, which is like this fancy French word for spray ink. And it's like a digital image. You can print it on like any material you want. And it's just like a really, really nice quality. Like I remember when we started, I thought we were gonna do it on like posters and stuff. But like I was like, this is nice. So yeah, they're like really, really nice paper.
Yes, it's so sharp. I mean, and clear. I love that.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Like this one right here is actually a print. And then that's the
Okay,
artist right
behind
there.
you.
You can see.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The colors come out really good.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay, here's Consumed.
Ooh.
I think this is probably my favorite. These are my favorite colors on here. And I kind of wanted to do something different than like the butterflies. And so this one, it symbolizes like, as you can see on her head, it's like the cityscape. And I kind of have her like, you can see like the patterns, they're kind of also in front of her as well as behind her. And it's kind of like she's blending in the background. And I think like most people, like once they, like famous people, are like once they get big, they kind of lose sight of like who they are and they kind of blend into the background and kind of get caught up with all the fame and everything. And like you can tell in her eyes, they're not as Black as everything else because I wanted to show how you kind of like blend into the background and you're not really yourself.
Oh, yeah. I love that. And you're right. Going to her eyes are just kind of dull in that she's just staring a gaze. I love that piece. That's beautiful. And the scenery of the city. Absolutely. Now, let me ask you, going back to you, did you say it was G clay? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay, G clay. So with the G clay print, Is it a limited edition? Are there several? Can you expound on that just a little bit in terms of if someone was interested in this particular portrait?
You can do regular G clays that are just like the regular prints, but there's also limited edition ones where, you know, there's only one size of them and there's only a few, like a certain quantity of them. So like I might have like a certain size and might only have 5. And, you know, once those 5 are gone, then they're gone. So like they usually are like really, really expensive because like once you buy one, then the value goes up and that keeps going like as it goes down. So yeah.
And with the colors being so rich and vibrant, how long do these pictures, portraits last? Do they last for months, years, or how long do they stay vibrant like that?
They actually last up to like 200 years before you can start seeing like colors change and like it worn out and all that. Yeah, I know. They're gonna
Wow.
outlive all of us,
200 years. So if I were to buy one, I could hand it down to my grandchildren and so on. Wow. And they'll stay vibrant just like that.
just like that. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so here is the most recent one I finished. It's called Pink Pearls. I already finished it like a couple days ago. And this one, it has kind of a bigger story. So back when we kind of were first all in quarantine and the Black Lives Matter movement really was like strong and starting, um, like my school, I go to a private school. It's like a predominantly white school, and you know, as a whole, they don't really support the Black Lives Matter movement, especially like the students there. And like the school wasn't really saying anything, and like the students were like, well, we have to say something because you have Black students who are like hurting right now. So someone made an Instagram, like, and so that people could go on there and kind of show their experiences. So hopefully the school would respond. And you know, I was scrolling through them, and like I was scrolling through, and I'm like, why do I relate to like every single one of these? And there were so many, and I even like added my own. But I was scrolling through, and like one of the most common things were like Black girls talking about how like staff would like comment on their hair, comment on their body, comment on different things like that, and just like a lot of discriminatory things happening. So and it's not a secret, like in the world I feel like Black women are like so underappreciated, so underrated. So I wanted to create a piece that showed that Black women were worth protecting. So pearls, they usually protect, they're like a symbol of protection. So I have them on here. You know, you see little Afro puffs. And I just wanted to make a piece that was a reminder that Black men are worth being protected. We're worthy, and like, you know, hopefully one day the world will cherish us like we cherish each other.
Absolutely. I love this piece. When I look at it, like you said, I see so much in it. It just moves me to the point where, like you say, her hair, which is a natural beauty, her natural hair, her lips, the color of the lipstick that you chose, the pearl symbolic of what you just mentioned. I mean, it just jumps right off the page with the colors that you chose. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So the color of the lipstick, was there a particular reason why you made her lips dark? Was it just to be symbolic of her race, or just her pain, or no particular reason, or?
It was kind of more of just like artistic choice, but I definitely wanted to like throw in the Black Lives Matter, like a little
Oh,
bit obvious in there. Yeah.
okay, okay. I love it. I love it. And she's got the seriousness of her eyes. Yes, I love it. Oh, that's beautiful. You are truly talented. My goodness, this is wonderful.
Thank you.
Hmm. Definitely. So when you painted this particular picture, going back to your school, did anyone from your school see it? Did they receive it? What were their thoughts? Did they think it was a good thing, or just curious to see if you don't mind talking about that a little bit?
Yeah. No one has seen this one yet, but all the ones that you saw right before it, they've seen those. And like, I really love, like, I like to paint things, like, as you probably can tell, like topics that are like really uncomfortable or like kind of like taboo, and like, especially like the domestic violence thing. And I have others. They're just topics that my school would just never ever talk about. And
Mm,
so like, their students aren't used to like knowing people who've been through certain things or have like are going through certain things. So I wanted to paint things, like I wanted to paint uncomfortable topics in like colorful and beautiful ways. So hopefully like it'll be more approachable in people's minds. Cause like even like some of the like beauty of Blackness, when I brought it to school, people were asking, you know, what it means and all that. And I explained it, and they actually talked about it. Like people who like would never ever like support Black Lives Matter ever in their lives. You know, they were curious because it's not so much like you're telling them, oh, you need to believe this, you need to believe that. It was more like they're looking at a picture and they, you know, they're trying to understand it and they're like, oh, it's so pretty, it's so nice. And so I think, so I really like that I'm able to be that person. Like I love that my work, like, you know, makes people talk, and it like makes things more easier for people, especially like where I've been growing up. So yeah.
It brings awareness. Absolutely. That's awesome. I love it. You're so talented. So, are you going to have a showing in a gallery once we get beyond this pandemic? Is that kind of your hopes and dreams going forward?
I'm hoping to. I want to do galleries and do like festivals. Usually that would have been happening like probably like August, September, and like during the summer. But you know, my manager said he's got it under control. So whenever it happens, he'll do it.
That's awesome. You got a good manager. That's awesome. That is
Manager.
so. Oh, so what do you where do you want to take this after? Like, so do you want to go and major in fine arts in college, or where do you see yourself 5, 10 years down the road with your work?
I definitely wasn't considering art school. Like I didn't consider it until like literally a few months ago.
Okay.
But I'm looking at SCAD for college for art. And I want to major in marketing, but I definitely want to minor in painting or in fine arts.
Yeah. You're very, very talented. Oh my goodness. This is awesome. I know your parents must be proud and your manager.
Yes.
I see you just soaring to the sky, beyond, your wildest dreams. Well, if your manager want to join back on, he can, and we can talk with him, if he wants to do that, if he's available.
Yes, manager.
I am here. I am
Oh,
here.
Mr. Graham. Well, I think it's so cool when parents take the initiative and become a part of their children's talent and manage them and make sure that they're there and that they help them with the decision making and be there to negotiate and do all those things. So huge. Big ups to you for being there and being a part of this. That's awesome. That's awesome. So she was talking about G Clay, and prior to her coming on, I knew a little bit about fine arts, but not a whole lot. So just in case there's some viewers, and I'm going to look at some of the comments here, just in case some of the viewers aren't familiar with fine arts, can you kind of fill us in exactly what that entails, if you don't mind?
Okay, yeah. Now with the giclée is a French term, and the
Okay.
French term is to be mentioned means spray on. It's a digital image, and basically it's almost a replica of the original piece. So you'll see the vibrant colors in the giclée as well as you'll see in the original piece. Like if you look at the three pieces behind us, actually I forgot we added one more piece. There's two originals, but in the middle is the print. And the print is just as vibrant in color as the original. So that's why the giclées are so expensive, because the process that they go through. And then also the paper that we put them on. We don't put them on poster paper. We put them on fine art paper. So the paper is going to be thicker. The paper is going to last longer. And it's just going to give you an overall better quality experience with your art. And it's for people that really want to collect art, whether it's a new collector or somebody that's been collecting for years. It gives them something that is collectible that they can pass down from generation to generation.
Wow. And can you make all sizes? Can you make it smaller, bigger? Like, can you?
Yes, we have custom sizes. We've had people as big as 40-inch by 50-inch on canvas. And there was a request, the guy was like, get it to me as big as possible. And I was sitting there like, well, shipping is going to be pretty expensive. I don't care what the cost is, just get it to me. So he took us to a new level and challenged us with, hey, can you do something big? So then the people we work with, as far as our printers, they were able to get it and then get it to him, and we just have them ship it to him. But he had a brother blessed a 40 by 50-inch piece over his sofa, because he wanted something that would go over his sofa, and he loved that piece. And they a
Yeah.
Facebook friend, and he just called me, I want this piece as long as you can get it, and just send me the invoice and I'll pay it. And
Oh my
that's basically
goodness.
what happened.
Wow. And she had mentioned earlier that that piece, the one behind her, is the most popular one because of the Black Lives Matter movement. That's awesome. That's
Yes, that
awesome.
piece is definitely selling well, and also the consumed. People like those two uh, extremely well. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. But yeah, so Brother Bless and Consume are the top sellers right now.
Oh, that's awesome. My goodness. So where do you see your daughter going from here? You seeing her being the next I don't know, the Picasso, or what are your thoughts about all of this? I know you're excited.
Oh, definitely. She sparked and I'm an art collector, so she sparked that back into me. I hadn't really collected anything, and now I'm like, wow, this is powerful stuff, and your art is worth collecting. And she was just looking at me, and I told her, I said, you're really doing great stuff. And we have a friend and a couple of other associates we know that are artists, and they do very well in that in their art business. And so the big thing about it is I see her running her business. She wants to get into marketing. So that's going to help her with her business as well. So we set up her business, Tiffany's Fine Art, so that this could be something that she can run, something that she can have. And if
Mhm.
she chooses, to do it full time or part time or however she chooses to do it, it gives her options. But I see her just doing some powerful art and powerful art with a purpose. And that was because her art has meaning and purpose. It's not just
Right,
pictures. It's
right.
there's meaning behind it. When she told me the meaning behind the pieces, I was sitting there just like, wow, because I had to do the write up on them. I said, well, give me the meaning behind this. And then she would tell me, I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. It was
Mm.
that in depth of a meaning behind this particular piece. And then you're just, okay. So I see her doing very well. She's been getting great compliments from other artists, from other clients, and just I just see her doing well and just keep on going. And the other part, she's having fun with
That's the main thing. Absolutely. That's the main
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And I was going to say when you mentioned earlier she has meaning, just looking at her work, I would think that she was somebody that's been in the game for many, many years. She's so talented. I would never have known that she was a young adult. So that's huge. And to have meaning behind it and something that you love to do. That's awesome. Somebody always said, make sure you choose something in life that you love to do because it'll come easier to you. So Tiffany, you're definitely talented. And I'm looking at the comments here from the Facebook Live audience, and somebody said, thank you so much for putting you on the show. They said, you got it going on. They're sounding like they're going to be buying some pieces from you. Everyone is just going on and on. They're saying, good job, Mr. Graham, being an awesome, awesome manager, being there to help her, guide her way through. So everybody's just have nothing but compliments to say about your work. Please make sure you tell everyone how they can follow you so they can look more at your work and get more information.
I think Instagram, Facebook.
is Tiffany's Fine
Yes.
Arts on Instagram and on Facebook, and then on the website is tiffany'sfinearts.com. Make sure you put the S on the Tiffany's and the S on arts. Uh,
Okay.
So you're
Okay.
yes, if you go to Tiffany's Fine Art, you will notice that there's no resemblance to
Uh-oh.
Tiffany.
Let
Yes.
me put that S, okay? That's huge. That's huge. Well, thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk. I'm so honored that I had you on my show before you blow up and be this millionaire. And so I thank you so much for coming on. And Terry, big ups to you for your parenting and being there for her as her manager. So you guys keep striving, and I'm gonna keep watching for you. And you're welcome to come back anytime. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having
having
me.
us, and be blessed. And we'll be seeing you.
All right. Same here.
All right.
Bye.
God bless.
Bye.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as you saw, that was Tiffany Graham. She is an up and coming artist. She's very, very talented, and she's got an awesome manager behind her that's there to guide her and make sure she's on the right path. And it's something that she loves to do. And so, you guys make sure you check out for her. And I'm going to put her information in the comments section on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. So, huge. I always love to see young adults do something that they love to do that's positive, right? That's not being negative. So I'm really, really happy for her. So you guys stay tuned and keep an eye out on her because I believe she's gonna just go to the sky. Sky's the limit. So with that, we're going to close out the show. And as always, every week, I always want to leave you guys with something positive. And so I was going through a lot of things today, and I was thinking, what can I share with you guys? And, you know, every time you turn on the news as we talk, there's always doom and gloom, doom and gloom. And so I said, well, you know, the best thing to do, obviously, first and foremost, is pray. Make sure you pray. But then after you pray, just remember, and I'm just going to quote this with you. I don't know who said it, but they basically said, your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will begin to change. So I took that as when you think of positive thoughts, whatever you put out into the atmosphere, positive things will come back. So if it's a job that you're hoping for, if it's your health that you're hoping to get better, if you're mourning the loss of a loved one, you know, that you've lost due to COVID-19 or 9/11, what have you, just constantly pray and think positive, and God will heal you and positive things will come to you. So just keep that in mind. And also remember this, as we see all this doom and gloom, it is up to us to vote. Make sure you vote. If you are African American, there were people that died for your right to vote. Make sure you do that, whether you make arrangements to go and stand in a long line with your fold-out chairs, with food, beverages, or you make sure you fill out that application and get your absentee ballot so you can fill that in and mail it in. Whatever method you're going to use, make sure you vote. It does matter, and we've got to make things better so that we can have a better future for not only for us, for our children and our children's children. So make sure you stay positive and continue to pray. And with that, I just want to also tell you guys, with my new and improved website, you can order my books and read more about what they're about on www.dtlproduct.net, or you can go to Amazon and there's a full description. You can purchase them there as well. Every week, you can watch my show, Let's Talk with author Dre Lett, on Facebook, which would be on my Dre Lett page, or Instagram on my author_Dre Lett page, and YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is called Let's Talk with author Dre Lett. There you'll see all the video casts, all the shows that I've done over these past couple of weeks and months. There, right there. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share. And as always, I want you guys to make sure that you wear your mask, that you wash your hands, and that you social distance, and be kind to one another. Love one another and do one good deed for somebody, whether it's a smile, open a door, say something good to them. They look pretty, they're handsome, whatever. Do one good deed every day, and this will be a better world. So with that, I love you guys, and I am out.